30 minutes ago, sad news for 88-year-old male singer and actor Jeff Bridges, family in mourning. Jeff Bridges is an American actor, producer, and musician who has worked in the entertainment industry for more than 60 years. The actor first met Susan Sue Justin in Chico Hot Springs in Montana while filming a hot tub scene for the 1975 movie Rancho Deluxe. He couldn't keep his eyes off the waitress when he saw her, who had a damaged nose and a black eye. The woman had face injuries as a consequence of a recent vehicle accident, the actor subsequently discovered. He was still mesmerized by her beauty, though. Her beauty and ugliness, as Jeff recalled, had him spellbound. That was love at first sight for him. He kept peeking at her while filming a scene like an enthralled child, but she always caught him. He acknowledged, "I couldn't take my eyes off her. I didn't know if she was a maid or a waiter." She was beautiful in his eyes, and he was intrigued by the juxtaposition between her beauty and her deformity. The Big Lebowski actor mustered the confidence to approach her and ask her out after the shoot. Susan laughed but said that since she lived in a small town, it was likely they would cross paths later. Fortunately, they did, and when they went dancing, the star fell in love. The following day, Susan was invited to the actor's appointment with a local real estate agent to view various properties. During their first date, which took place at a ranch house by the river, Jeff noticed that his future bride was accompanying him. But the idea alarmed him. He knew he couldn't lose the woman who had given him everything, even if he was also terrified of realizing she was the one for him. The actor was deeply in love, but he was also concerned that he and Susan wouldn't be as committed as his parents were. He conceived, "I was terrified about getting married for a long. It seemed to be moving me closer to passing away." Jeff eventually realized that facing his fear was necessary for moving forward in life. He acknowledged that he was most afraid of losing his independence, but after 2 years of hesitation, he ultimately made the proposal. He reasoned that if things didn't work out, he could always file for divorce. He didn't anticipate, however, developing a closer relationship with his wife that would eventually encompass children, grandkids, and other impossibilities without being married. Jeff was afraid of the move, but his heart was wide open. The actor, who had been married to Susan for 43 years and was then 70, claimed that they had distinct personalities but maintained a respectful relationship in 2020. Instead of letting their differences keep them apart, they cherished them. The actor claimed that their lengthy survival was a result of his blessing and respect for Susan's intelligence. Throughout their marriage, Jeff dealt with diseases and other challenges, but he always had the strongest support system by his side. Susan and Jeff's marriage and the struggles she helped Jeff overcome. Jeff grew up in close proximity to his parents, Bo and elder brother Bo. He remembered that every day for an hour, his mother would give him and his brother and sister time to do anything they wanted with her. The actor called his kids his true prizes while talking about them. He married Susan in 1977, and they soon welcomed their 3 lovely daughters, Haley in 1985, Jessica in 1988, and Isabel in 1981, all of whom he was grateful for. The famous person and his family were enjoying happy lives and had all they could have wished. Jeff tried to strike a balance between his music, family, and photography, but to him, everything just clicked. He did, however, give his wife credit for keeping everything in order. Tragically, Jeff's cancer diagnosis in October 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, upended the family's idyllic existence. He announced the news on Twitter, saying he had been diagnosed with lymphoma but had a good outlook. He promised to begin therapy and to keep his followers informed of his progress. Susan described how stunned they were when they learned of the diagnosis, but she soon began to help her husband by planning out the following steps. With his wife by his side, the actor started chemotherapy by infusion before switching to oral chemo. His family's encouragement encouraged him to continue his therapy. He shared a picture of himself happy and wearing a bald head in December 2020, saying he felt wonderful. The actor also spoke about obtaining a puppy named Monty, who is seen in the picture, and his 71st birthday. By the start of the new year, he posted a picture of himself, his wife, and Monty on Facebook. The singer wore red and black clothing to match his wife, and his shaved head was covered by a red hat. Before wishing everyone a happy new year, he added, "May we dream together of the type of world we'd like to live in." Isabel admitted that she occasionally felt inferior to his parents in a flashback Instagram post she made in June 2019 featuring his parents. While admitting it wasn't the greatest use of her time to compare herself to her parents, she proclaimed them to be the coolest people on the earth. She praised them nonetheless, stating that she viewed them as her role models, particularly in terms of pursuing their objectives while feeling like they were out of reach. The actor and his wife received a COVID-19 diagnosis in January 2021, a month after he began chemotherapy and his tumor had begun to shrink, and they weren't optimistic about his prognosis. The actor's condition was so terrible that when Susan received a call from the hospital warning her that her husband would need to be put on a ventilator, her answer was, "Protect his life. Whatever you must do, do it." Fortunately, the celebrity didn't require a ventilator, but he subsequently acknowledged that he was on the verge of death and that physicians had urged him to fight. While Jeff was prepared to transition and give up, he persisted since his wife was at his side. Seeing her spouse get out of bed, move, and live was the mother of 3 children's greatest wish, she revealed. With the right care, she was confident he would succeed in achieving those objectives, and he did. Jeff made an appearance on CBS Sunday Morning in June 2022 and spoke candidly about his battle with cancer. He described how it started as an ache and that a CAT scan found a 9x 12-inch tumor in his stomach. Susan spent 5 days in the hospital following the COVID-19 diagnosis, compared to the Crazy Heart actress's 5-week hospitalization. The actor recalls having trouble breathing and hearing the physician's assurances that they were trying their best. When Jeff made the decision to dance with Haley and lead her down the aisle at her wedding when he recovered, he felt better and was ready to go, much to the delight of his wife. By May 2022, the True Grit star was thankful for his life and back at work. He talked about how, especially while spending time with his wife, he now cherished life's simple joys more. Susan attributed Jeff's progress to the months of physical treatment he received. As the conversation turned to Susan, the actor was questioned about his feelings towards Susan being named the honored mother at VNA Health's Mother's Day luncheon in 2012. The celebrity claimed that he was thrilled to see his wife honored in that position. He saw how she had throughout the years taken good care of him, their children, her mother, and their grandkids. Jeff was quite moved to see Susan being recognized in that manner. He talked about his battles with COVID-19 and cancer on Jimmy Kimmel Live in June 2022. The celebrity, who was then in full recovery, talked about how he gained a lot of knowledge while struggling for survival. He said that COVID-19 made the cancer appear like nothing, since chemo had destroyed all of his body's protective mechanisms. He also mentioned how Susan immediately recovered after they both traveled in an ambulance to a hospital for treatment. With his devoted wife by his side, Jeff was able to heal from his infirmities, and in 2023, he was looking forward to marking an important achievement. The celebrity is so devoted to his wife that he still keeps a keepsake from their first encounter close by. The strength of Jeff and Susan's love. When Jeff's cancer was in remission in 2022, he credited Susan with giving him the willpower to carry on. He thought they were both in it for the long run. They had just celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary that year. The old man performer remarked, that when his family supported him following his COVID-19 diagnosis, he learned they liked him very much. The performer had the capacity to appreciate life as a gift and realize how fleeting it was. His current health issue demonstrated to him the healing power of love, and he recognized his earlier difficulties as lessons to be learned. The actor has previously said that his wife had taught him a lot of things. He gave her credit for pointing out his self-defeat and reciprocated in kind. She would tell him that initiating new initiatives was his default response, and he would recognize that. Susan also provided her husband with a variety of viewpoints, demonstrating the importance of their connection and their shared concern for one another. The actor acknowledged that neither he nor his wife would ever fully understand the other, but every time they quarreled, they came to the realization that not knowing was a wonderful thing. A letter from the Rancho Deluxe makeup artist was received by Jeff Bridges, 10 years after first meeting his wife, Susan Geston. As long as they are together, the pair is able to deal with difficult situations. As problems surface after years of fighting it, Jeff finds solace in growing closer to one another. Isabel, meantime, found inspiration in their union. She stated that despite her father's celebrity, his family is his biggest delight, and that they took the time to inquire about their hobbies. Nothing was more rewarding than being able to spend time with the people he loved. Jeff requested that his grandchildren call him Dude Pa because he identified so strongly with his Jeffrey, the Dude Lebowski persona. But Gracie, his 2-year-old granddaughter, playfully called him Duddy since she couldn't say it. The granddad wasn't too bothered by it because he was an unwavering optimist. The actor had numerous grandkids by the year 2022, including a new baby. Gracie Louise Bosch, Isabel's first child, was born on March 31, 2011, and Ben, her second son, was born in 2020. A picture of their first date, which Jeff still carries with him, served as the foundation for the large family that Jeff and Susan have created and are bonded by their love. The makeup artist for Rancho Deluxe wrote Jeff a letter 10 years after he first met his wife. The actor, who is anticipating his 46th wedding anniversary in June 2023, admitted the artist shot 2 pictures of him when he first spoke to Susan, and he has kept one of them in his wallet ever since. Thanks for watching my video.